Hello. Well, we're going to have an intermission at the beginning of this video, and it's just to cover our legal ramifications. And that is going to be a disclaimer that will appear on the screen. And I'm just going to read the disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this video are my own, which are not directed at a specific entity or party and do not reflect the views or opinions of any affiliates, corporations, employers, institutions, or organizations. Now that we have that out the way, let's get into the video.
Who is this actually for? Is it like for high school grads?
No, not really. The University of Tulsa's online ABSN. It's specifically designed for people who already have a bachelor's degree.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but in something other than nursing. So it's really a pathway for career changers who want to get into nursing, maybe a bit quicker.
Got it. So degree already in hand. This is potentially faster. But how does the online part mesh with nursing? It seems so hands-on,
Well, it's a blend. The coursework, the theory part, that's mostly online and asynchronous.
meaning you do it on your own schedule.
Exactly. Flexibility there. But, and this is crucial, it absolutely includes required in person clinical experiences. You have to go to healthcare settings for that.
Right. Makes sense. It's not all online then.
Definitely not. It's a hybrid, really. You get the online convenience, but also the essential hands-on practice.
Okay. Now, before you even get to the nursing classes, I saw there's some science requirements, prerequisites.
That's right. You got to clear those first, and you need a C or better.
What are they specifically?
Okay, so a general chemistry, that's lecture and lab. Then human anatomy, also lecture and lab. And human physiology, same deal, lecture and lab.
Chemistry, anatomy, physiology. Got it.
And there's a little note here. CHEM 1004 can apparently substitute for CHEM 1013 and 1011. So maybe some flexibility depending on what chemistry you took before.
What if you already did courses like these in your first degree? You have to sit through them again. That sounds tedious.
Yeah, good question. No, not necessarily. They do allow for transfer credits for prerequisites.
Oh, good.
Yeah, the Office of the Registrar Transfer Specialist, they'll look at your transcripts and see if your past courses match up.
So you can get credit.
Potentially, yes. And you can even apply to the main program before you've finished all the prerequisites, but they definitely need to be done successfully before you start the actual nursing major courses.
Okay. Prerequisite hoops jump through. Then what? What's the nursing part look like? You mentioned two timelines.
Yes, exactly. Tulsa offers two plans. There's an 18-month option, which is pretty accelerated.
Intense, I imagine.
It seems like it. And then there's a 24-month option, which spreads things out a bit more.
But they both lead to the same DSM.
Yes. Both plans involve completing 69 credit hours total. That's nursing major and foundational courses. And importantly, 60 of those credits have to be the nursing major ones earned directly at Tulsa.
So same amount of work, just different pace.
Precisely. The big difference is just how the courses are distributed each term. The 18-month one is more front loaded, meaning you'll probably take more credits in those early terms, like maybe 12 credits in the first term, whereas the 24-month plan might start you off with something lighter, like 9 credits.
Okay.
And that 24-month plan generally keeps a steadier pace, maybe 2 or 3 courses per term, usually.
So it gives you a choice depending on your life, I guess, which you can handle.
Absolutely. It's about flexibilities, how fast you want to go, what your other commitments are like. That 18-month track, it could really suit someone who's ready to just dive in deep and fast, maybe using those academic skills they already have from their first degree.
Okay, let's talk clinicals. Nursing is obviously very hands-on. How does an online program handle that practical experience
Yeah, clinical experience is absolutely core. So this program has a couple of components. First, there's a required 1 week clinical intensive.
on campus?
Yes, on the Tulsa campus. And that week is really focused on foundational stuff, health assessment, basic nursing skills, getting you comfortable with the hands on basics.
1 week intensive. Okay, what else?
Beyond that intensive week, you then have to complete a total of 630 clinical hours over the course of the program.
Okay. 630 hours. Where do you do those?
Those happen in actual healthcare settings, hospitals, clinics, that sort of thing, spread throughout the program.
Now, Texas, we mentioned that specifically. A lot of potential students might be there. How do clinical placements work for this program if you're in Texas?
Right. This is a really important piece for Texas listeners. So, the Texas Board of Nursing, the BONE, they have rules that allow out of state nursing programs like Tulsa's to have students do clinicals in Texas facilities.
Okay, so it's possible.
It's possible, but there's a catch. The program, Tulsa, has to get approval from the Texas bond every single year to keep doing this. It's not a permanent green light.
So do they have that approval currently?
Yes. According to the info we have, as of January 2025, Tulsa's program does have that Texas bond approval. It's valid through December 31st, 2025.
Okay, that's good news. Do we know where in Texas?
Yes, the approval lists specific hospital systems. They've got approved sites within the Baylor Scott and White system and the Memorial Hermann system. Also, Mesquite Specialty Hospital is listed.
Those are some big names, especially Baylor's kind of white.
They are partnering with established system like that. It could potentially mean exposure to a good variety of patient situations for the students, which is, really valuable experience.
Definitely. But okay, if you live near a Baylor Scott and White in Texas, does that mean you're guaranteed to do your 630 hours right there?
That's the nuance. While the program is approved to use sites within those systems in Texas, getting placed at a specific hospital, maybe the one closest to you, is not guaranteed.
Okay.
The university manages the placements and they consider lots of factors. So, if you're a student in Texas, you need to be prepared for the possibility of travel.
Travel even within Texas.
Yes, you might be placed at a different Baylor Scott and White location or a Memorial Hermann site that requires some commuting, or maybe at Mesquite, it's not automatically the facility down the street. That's a key expectation.
Okay, really important point there. So manage expectations about travel for clinicals in Texas. Got it. Now, fast forward, you've done the online work, the intensive, the 630 hours. What about getting licensed, especially in Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri?
Right, the end goal. According to Tulsa's own state licensure disclosures page, and they last reviewed this in June 2024, the program does meet the educational requirements needed to sit for the RN license in Oklahoma, Texas, and Missouri.
Okay, that's direct.
Yes. And they actually list a few others too where it meets requirements: Arkansas, Colorado, and Kansas.
So that's a major plus if you plan to work in one of those 6 states.
Absolutely. It's designed with that pathway in mind, particularly for OKTX and MO.
Seems straightforward, but any caveats? Any
Always. While the program says it meets the educational requirements now, nursing rules can change. State boards can update their requirements.
Ah,
So it is absolutely vital, I can't stress this enough, that you, the prospective student, personally contact the Board of Nursing in the state where you plan to work.
don't just take the university's word for it from June 2024.
Exactly. Verify the latest rules or regulations directly with the state authority. It's ultimately your responsibility to make sure you meet all the current criteria when it's time to apply for your license.
Good advice. Always double check with the source. And then the big exam, the NCLEX. Does graduating make you eligible to take it?
Yes, it does. Graduates from this ABSN program are eligible to sit for the National Council Licensure Examination, the NCLEX-RN. Passing that is, the final hurdle to becoming a registered nurse.
Okay. And as we just confirmed, Tulsa's first time pass rates have been excellent.
Exactly. That recent data really speaks to the program's effectiveness in preparing students.
So let's zoom out. If you're that career changer, you've got a bachelor's already, maybe you're in OK, TX, or MO. What are the big pluses of this Tulsa program? The key takeaway.
I'd say there are a few main ones. First, that online asynchronous learning gives you real flexibility, especially if you're juggling work or family. That's huge.
Yeah, the flexibility seems key.
Second, having a choice between the 18-month and 24-month pace that lets you tailor the intensity to your own situation.
Right. Manage the workload.
Third, and maybe the biggest for our focus group here, is that the program is explicitly set up to meet educational licensure requirements in Oklahoma, Texas, and Missouri. That's a clear pathway.
A direct route if you want to work in those states.
Precisely. And lastly, don't forget the potential to transfer in those science prerequisites that can save time and tuition money.
Okay, those sound like solid benefits. On the flip side, any things that should make someone pause or think twice? Potential drawbacks.
Yes, a few things to keep squarely in mind. We talked about the clinical placements, especially in Texas approval is there, but specific sites aren't guaranteed. Be ready for potential travel.
Right, the travel possibility.
And while we now know their NCLX pass rates are great, it's still wise to feel confident about your own exam preparation. And finally, and we keep saying it because it's critical, you absolutely must do your own homework and verify the current licensure requirements with your specific state's board of nursing. Don't assume anything.
Verify, verify, verify. Got it. Okay, so wrapping this up, what's the bottom line? The essential message for someone considering Tulsa's online ABSN.
I think the essential message is that this program offers a pretty well defined yet flexible path for degree holders to become nurses. It looks particularly attractive if your goal is to practice in Oklahoma, Texas, or Missouri because of that licensure alignment and those strong NCLX results.
Okay.
You get the online learning flexibility, you get pacing options. Just be realistic about the clinical placement logistics, especially the potential for travel in Texas, and be proactive about checking state board rules yourself.
Makes sense. So if people listening want to learn more, get the nitty-gritty details, what should they do next?
Definitely head to the University of Tulsa's website. That's going to be the source for the most current detailed program info.
Look for the online ABSN program specifically.
Right. And don't hesitate to reach out to their admissions team. Ask your specific questions about prerequisites, transfer credits, clinicals, and anything else that's on your mind.
Talk to a real person there.
Absolutely. And one more time for good measure, contact your state board of nursing directly. Get the absolute latest on what it takes to get licensed as an RN in your state.
Excellent. Well, embarking on a whole new career in healthcare, especially nursing, that's a huge decision. Let's to consider.
It really is.
We hope this deep dive is giving you some useful insights and maybe some clarity as you think about your own path forward. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Yes. Thank you for being here and good luck with your journey.